Guys, and today I wanted to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder and what to expect from them this upcoming offseason. What are their priorities? And let's talk about them. They have, a handful of free agents that I hope that they come back. And this is a team that, they have four draft picks this year, three in the first round. They went 24 and 58. They had actually the 16th best defense, which even, Sam Presti has alluded in conversation that this team has the makings of a good defensive team. Not that they're going to be good next year, but they potentially could become a very good defensive team. That their calling card is defense. They have the 30th. They had the worst offense in the league, a net rating of -8. So what went wrong? Nothing, because Oklahoma City are trying to rebuild. They tried to tank. They wanted to develop young talent. They wanted to acquire as much young talent as possible, and they wanted to acquire as many draft picks as possible by having a terrible record. And that guarantees you a high pick. And, what maybe went wrong was that they ended up having 24 wins, that they had more wins than they were expecting. And, they have Shea Gilgeous Alexander, who is obviously going to help them win more games than they probably expected because he's a special talent. Now, what do you expect? The Thunder owned their first round pick, and Sam Presti has not, really relinquished that at all. And it has a 48.1% chance of being top four, and it has a 12.5% chance of being number one overall. And this is a team that has had the top four pick three times in the last 15 years, which landed them Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook in consecutive seasons. Prior to that, the team had never had a top four pick since 1990 when they drafted Gary Payton. And this is all as, the Seattle Supersonics. And the Thunder/Supersonics never had the top pick. The Thunder also has the Clippers pick from the Paul George in 2019, and the Clippers' efforts in the play-in tournament is a pick that now lands at 12. And OKC also has Phoenix Suns pick, which is the 30th pick currently, and they have the 34th pick in the second round. So things that they're going to go into this offseason looking to add some more assets to the mix. This is a team that said if they're not playing for anything next year, they're going to focus on developing again, which means they're going to tank again if they aren't a play-in team at the very least next year. And yes, that means they're probably going to lean towards developing. And the reason why they're doing this is there's a new collective bargaining agreement coming up in the few years, and the Thunder want to leave themselves in full advantage to take advantage. They want to leave themselves in position to be able to take full advantage of this by overpaying 2 to 3 or 4 stars that want to get overpaid, because they'll probably, hypothetically speaking, they'll have like $200 million in cap space, which means they can sign 3 guys to $150 million and then spend the rest of the money filling out the roster. And Lou Dort and Kenrich Williams will be in contract extensions, and I expect them to focus on the draft and Derrick Favors to be traded. So now let's talk about, look, I hope Olivier Sarr is given a chance, but really, Jalen Howard is awesome, okay? He needs to be brought back because Lindy Waters is awesome, Aaron Wiggins is awesome. I don't know about Teo, but, Lou Dort, Isaiah Roby, Kenrich Williams, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl. Mike Muscala should be traded. Tyler Jerome, he showed some value, but Darius Bazley looks like he could be one of the best two-way power forwards in the league. And they should, they should bring back, I think personally, Georgios Kaliakis had some moments. If they want to bring him back, sure. They paid him $37,000 for that stretch, but Jalen Howard looked awesome. I think they should bring him back. Same thing with, I guess that's basically Jalen Howard and Olivier Sarr had some moments. But besides that, I think no one else really deserves to be brought back. Now, roster decisions. Also, Lou Dort, Darius Bazley, and the one that I previously mentioned, and Kenrich Williams are all up for extensions. And do I believe that they should get them? Oh, of course. I believe everyone should get paid. And they're under contract for next season. But, if they want to enter this flexibility, try to re-sign them this year. So when the collective bargaining agreement, the 2023 offseason kicks in, they'll be able, to get them under contract for the cheap. They can do the same thing with Roby and Jerome and Williams with, Maladon and Wiggins being able to do it during the regular season. And fits and needs, they just need to get players around, Shea, Giddey, Dort, Trey Mann, and they're not building a playoff roster. They're trying to build the best team possible. And I think just trying to get more assets here would be the best win for them, if you guys agree with me. And this is a team that has a 75% chance of having a top 5 pick. And now that we look at that, who are somebody that they should target with that top draft pick? Obviously, Jari Smith, Chet Holmgren. There's a lot of options, okay? And personally, Who would I take at 4? I like Benedict Mathurin. I'm a big fan of his. And when you look at this at 4, there's Jaden Ivey. Do you want to pair him up, or do you want a Keegan Murray? I think Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray, Benedict Mathurin, AJ Griffin, Jeremy Sohan. I think that's too high for Jalen Duren to go. If, Chet Holmgren or Paulo Banchero is there, obviously they'll take him over any of the guys I previously mentioned, but I expect all three of those guys to be gone with, Jawar Smith, first pick, Chet Holmgren, Paulo Banchero to be going either 2 or 3. Then Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray, Benedict Mathurin. I don't think they need another guard. I really think Keegan Murray, Benedict Mathurin, AJ Griffin, and Jeremy Sohan, and potentially like Johnny Davis or Dyson Daniels be the guys that they debate over who they should take at that point. But yeah, so interesting season for the Oklahoma City Thunder this year. That's where I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of this team? I think it was definitely an interesting year, to say the very least. So, that's the video for me today. Peace out.